ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy. Mick, thanks for staying with us here on ABC News Live. John Kirby there also spoke about the newest aid sent out to Ukraine, weapons, other equipment, training that will be happening. How can those weapon systems and all these things change the theater of war we're seeing in Ukraine?
So, Kenneth, specifically to the M114 155 millimeter towed howitzer, that is a significant weapon system. We've had some version of that since World War II. They will have to have some training as they have a different caliber artillery system, but having 18 of these will be helpful because right now, fighting in the east, the Donbas region, is in a largely flat area in its force on force. The Russians have been pounding the Ukrainians. If you attach the M114 with the M36, which is the counter-battery radar, the Ukrainians should be able to determine where they're being shot at from and then return fire on to the Russian artillery, which they haven't really had a problem with so far. So now they will have to actually deal with incoming artillery, which will be a big benefit to the Ukrainians. 18 is a good start, but we need to get much more out to them.
Again, Mick, Kirby mentioning that the Pentagon can't confirm that Western aid has been targeted by Russia. How difficult is it to get this kind of aid into Ukraine, specifically with the risk of Russian attack?
So it looks like the Russians are trying to do everything they can, one, to attack civilians and get them to leave Ukraine, thereby causing a massive flow of refugees into bordering countries, causing them more issues, and to target the incoming weapons, equipment, and ammunition that we know is already flowing and is only going to flow more as this fight continues and begins to really rage in the east. So I think the Russians are going to attack civilian humanitarian aid because if you can't get it into the country, it causes more refugees to have to leave the country to seek that kind of support.
And Mick, Kirby there again pointing out that Russia's military has suffered losses, troops and equipment as they try to overcome their logistical problems, as Kirby called it. Talk to us about the kind of difficulties the Russian army is facing in this war.
Kenneth, there are systematic problems within the Russian military. We've seen, as Kirby just mentioned, this lack of command and control. That causes the generals to actually have to get out and give direction because they don't have any junior commanders. I think we're now up to 8 generals killed, Russian generals killed in this war. That's unprecedented. Also, because of these soldiers, these Russian soldiers are mostly conscripts, they have a serious lack of technical and tactical capabilities, which they've tried to overcome by just massing fire against civilians. And that needs a lot of firepower, which they've been almost able to do. Their logistical support has been woefully inaccurate. And finally, I'd like to say that just to show how technically and tactically insufficient they've been, this is a ground war in which they've lost the flagship, of their Black Sea fleet to a country who doesn't even have a navy. So this is something that I think has really worked to the Ukrainians' advantage. They have showed that they do have that technical capability, and the Russians have not.
All right, Mick Mulroy with reality checks and keeping it all in perspective for us. We appreciate your time.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.